want to talk to you now about a set of videos that was something that we'd been meaning to make for such a long time from when the website started. And the website started on the whole premise that I reckoned I could teach complete novices how to, within an hour or two, be actually playing a proper tune on the guitar. And the way I did that was to just simplify the chord. So for example, a G chord, I took it down to its barest minimum and just made it the bottom four strings of the guitar, strings 1, 2, 3 and 4, and only fretted on the first string. So that gave us a really simple G chord. Then if I just strum the 4 strings, it's a G chord. It's not a complete G chord, 2 bass notes missing, but it's a G chord nonetheless. And for a beginner, they could play that with whichever finger they wanted at first. But at this stage, it doesn't matter. You can play it with any finger you like. And so a G chord, and then the next chord in the natural sequence of a G, in the key of G, would be an E minor, which is normally played like this, as a full chord. And I could have taught the full chord, but I decided not to, and just taught, again, just the short version, the 4-string version. And then to change to the next chord in the sequence, which was a C chord, which is held with just these 2 fingers here. And then to do the D7, which is keep the first finger where it is and move these fingers here. And I knew that there was an endless number of songs that people would be able to play if they once learned those 4 simple chords. And so that my beginners videos, the videos 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 I think, are just using those chords. And I teach off a simple strum on each one, and then I taught a simple pick on each one. If you've seen them, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That nice simple pick. And then I gave some variations of the pick. And that was gradually building people to the point where with just that same simple sequence they could play some nice, something that sounded like, you know, if someone had bought you the guitar and then a couple of hours later you were playing that, they'd say, oh fantastic, you know, you're really good at that. So what Jerry then did was took that concept of those simple chords, and I'll let you tell them yourself, Jerry, what you did from there on.
Yeah, the next idea was then, well, we need to create a repertoire so that people, whoa, hello, there we go. Once
scary things these guitars are.
And buttons get everywhere. Once you've learnt your 4 chords and maybe some of the pick patterns and some simple strumming patterns, that the next thing you need is a repertoire of songs that you can play. And so we came up with, I think it was 21 in the end, songs that use only those 4 chords, although in fact we introduced, I think, one other chord. We had the F chord.
Yes, I think
simple
the simplified
F
chord, which is just the middle 4 strings.
Yeah, but as Mike says, there are so many songs that you can play using those 4 chords, and we initially came up with 21 really well-known songs that everybody would know, so that the next time you were at a party and someone said, get your guitar out and play us something, you had something nice and simple that everyone could sing along to.
Yeah. And it really is not much of a step from this is what happens as a pattern, you see. Let me just put this down because this is quite intense. Something happens when you play the guitar. You learn a chord or 2 or 3, and you learn a picking pattern and you learn a strum. And people say, oh, you're learning the guitar, are you? And you say, yes, I am. Instead of running away, which is what you should do, just run a mile, you actually stupidly say, yes, I am actually. And they say, great, so what can you play? And what you then demonstrate is your G chord, which you're very proud of course, which you've spent weeks and weeks and weeks learning it, and your E minor chord, and then your C chord, and then your D7 chord, and then you sit back and wait for the rapturous applause from this casual inquirer, and of course that's not what they're going to do. They say,
is that it?
but what can you play? And this is for that big horrible time in your guitar learning career when you can play the chords and you know lots of stuff and you can play some picks, but you don't know any tunes.
Right.
And in the years you've been teaching and the years I've been playing, I've met hundreds and hundreds of people who don't know any tunes.
Or they're what I call bitzer players. They can play bits of this and
syndrome.
Bits of that, yeah, exactly.
So this was really aimed at giving you something that would, you know, really make you feel that you've made some massive progress. And what happens, in my opinion, sorry, not in my opinion, my observation, is that once you can play a tune or 2, the motivation level just goes off the scale.
Yeah.
You know, it's gimme, gimme, gimme. You want more and more and more.
Yeah.
And I think also what it does is it motivates you to not just progressing the number of songs that you know, but actually in the way that you play. Because I'll let Jerry explain how from those simple basic chords, the more advanced people could buy the same set and use them in a completely different way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So if we just a quick example of that. So these simple chords, which are fantastic when you're starting out, because making full chords is quite difficult when you're first playing the guitar. So you have the lovely simple chords, 1 finger, 2 fingers, at the most 3 fingers for one of the chords. Well, of course, eventually an experienced player will expand those chords and play the full versions of the chords. Only a little bit different. And they'll probably take a simple strum pattern that we might have taught in the beginner's one, where we might have simply said to you, okay, we're going to go down, we're going to do a downstroke on 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in fact we'll put an upstroke in after 4, say 1, 2, 3, 4, and change, 2, 3, 4. And when you've been playing for a while, you'll have learned other strum patterns, and you'll know that you can do a little bit more, you can put a bit more. Stretching the chords now to the full chords, and you're just slightly embellishing the strum pattern. So you can take these same songs that are taught so simply, and if you're at a more advanced level, you can still use them, get more out of them, and still get the full benefit of the repertoire of these 20 songs that everybody knows.
It's just occurred to me that we may even do that in the future. We may take the original set, and just bolt on. A slightly progressed version of each
Absolutely.
one. I mean, not to charge any more for it, but just to build it into the set.
Yeah.
So that you're getting sort of killing 2 birds with one
That's
stone.
it. If you're not an absolute beginner, then go for these.
But if you are an absolute beginner and you're looking for some stuff to play for repertoire, and I think it's safe to say, Jerry, that these could be bought by someone who's never played the guitar before.
I think that's what we're saying. It's literally a repertoire
If
for
you
absolute
can
beginners.
follow this instruction, take one of your fingers, you decide, it doesn't matter, and place it just behind the 3rd fret of your guitar on the 1st string, and then strum the bottom thinnest 4 strings, and then take that same finger and put it on the 4th string on the 2nd fret and strum the strings. Then put these 2 fingers, that's one on the 2nd string, one on the 4th, split 1 fret apart, and then move this one across and put this one in. If you can do that, then you can do this. Honestly, if you can do that, then you can learn to do this. And then I can picture you in a month's time being able to do this.
Yeah.
And the world then is your lobster, as they say.
Yes.
Because that opens up the guitar completely. It reveals itself at that point, that most of what you'll ever learn from then on is some variation of that.
Very true.
So from, I don't know, I could teach anyone, I think, to be able to do that.
I think with one
I think
finger.
if you're struggling with that, then perhaps you ought to give up.
Yeah, perhaps the instrument's not quite for you.
So from one finger and simple 1, 2, 3, 4 strum beats.
Yep.
And it was lovely to see how he did that. I'd like you to do that again, because it actually looked really nice. It was almost like the evolution of a piece, or a little series of chords being played.
Sure.
From the simple 1 finger, then just opening it up into the big chords. Just do that again for me.
Yeah, so simple strum pattern, strumming down on the top 4 strings on every beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got a confident 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So just the simple chords. Now let's expand to a full G chord. Now changing the strum pattern a little bit. You're gonna have to edit.
Can you
I
get
was
ready?
losing the plot. Sorry, mate, I was losing it.
I've done that when I've been making. Your voice just gets horrible.
I know.
Close it up, horrible.
I'm trying to hold off the laptop.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, do you want me to do that one again? Or do you think?
Yeah, just go
Yeah.
from the simple basic 1 finger and
Yeah.
the simple strum to gradually. And what I'll do this time, because I tried it last time, is I'll just join in with the simple chords behind you with a pick.
Great.
So that you
Okay,
can
good.
see that it's the same family that's going on. You know, so
Yeah.
that we're coming at it from the same angle. So from the simple.
Yeah. I would sing a song, but I'm not going to be
No,
able
no,
to.
don't worry, it's no problem. We'll just keep doing that chord sequence, it'll be
Yeah,
fine.
okay. So, I think we've got the explanation, then I'll just come into the playing.
Yeah, yeah.
This is ridiculous. Okay. Just simple chords. Got one finger, 2, 3, 4, and one finger, 3, 4, and 3, 4, and 1. Now let's stretch it out to the full chords, and we'll just expand the strum pattern a little bit. Now I'm sounding a bit fuller.
Now I'm going to join in with the simple chord versions, but I'm going to do a pick.
An idea of how these fit into the set. I'm going to speed this up a tiny bit. Now that's one of the songs in the set would be Dance away the heartache, dance away the tears, dance away the heartache, dance away the tears. Just our 4 songs. I'm playing them as full chords, but you can play that same song with 1 finger versions. 2 fingers. There you go. We should form a band.
Absolutely. I think a great demonstration of how you can take a very simple concept that anyone can play and just in a short while build it up, get to the full chords, use strums, use picks, mix and match the two. And a great concept and a real breakthrough. I think it's a breakthrough because I don't think anyone else is really teaching that simple stuff and relating it back to a decent sized repertoire.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. There aren't many repertoires for beginners when you're at that early stage. And we
apart from Frere Jacques and
exactly.
Michael Rowe, the boat ashore.
3 Blind Mice. Kumbaya.
Kumbaya.
Yeah, never forget Kumbaya.
Okay, so that's a fantastic set. We've called it, I don't know what we call it, the simple...
Yeah, 20 easy songs.
20
I think
easy
we said,
songs.
yeah.
They are easy. We do say that these are the easiest songs that there are, and we really mean that. Playable by anyone, and if you buy these and you're really not able to play them, just ask for a refund. We'll refund you, it's no problem, promise. 20 simple set. If there isn't a link on the video here, there'll be a link down just below somewhere on the page, or maybe even over there, or who knows, it depends where it ends up being put or where the webmaster puts it or whatever happens. But that's it, 20 really easy songs, playable by anyone, Jerry?
Playable by anyone.
Cross your heart?
Cross my heart, absolutely.
Definitely anybody.
Definitely anybody.
So if you've got a guitar, you can play these. Fantastic. Thank you.
Great stuff.